What happened on day 3 of the Pasquotank tournament? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. If you're new, my name is Steve Chapman. We're not calling it Pasquotank anymore. It is Pasquotank. And thank you for Patricia for telling me that. Because Kyle Welcher is absolutely dominating this fishing tournament. It is, without question, from start to finish, a domination. It is unbelievable to watch. And just when you think there's a slight, maybe outside chance that someone might be able to catch him, or he might not catch the quality of fish, Kyle Welcher brings in a 10+ pounder. Now, if you're unaware, there's only 50 anglers now. There was 102, gets brought down to 50 on moving day Saturday, I guess is the best way to put it. There will be 10 anglers competing for that. Well, there's 9 anglers competing for second place because there's no chance in hell that Kyle Welcher doesn't hoist up that blue trophy tomorrow afternoon. Now, there were several great anglers that missed the cut, and those anglers included Greg Hackney, John Cox, Patrick Walters, Brandon Palaniuk, Gerald Swindle, Matt Robertson, Sexy Beast Robertson, Ben Milliken, and Ben Milliken finished 101st out of 102 anglers. Worst tournament he's ever had. I'm very unsure how he makes it up the rest of the year, but I have confidence that he will. But Ben is having an absolutely terrible year, and it would be really, I would love to know what's happened or what's changed this year from last year. Because Ben is one of those anglers that does well scoping, and he does well catching fish without it. And this, maybe where they're going has had a big influence on him, or the weather. But the biggest surprise for me this week, well, the second biggest surprise is Milliken finishing 101st out of 102 anglers. And anglers competing for that second place through 10th place to get into that championship finale day. We saw Seth Feider catch a giant 7-pound bass really early before they even went live. And I'm just reading my notes. At 9:22, Kyle on Bass Track was up 25-12. And he only had 4 fish in his live well, which was insane. Now, if you don't know, the largest lead ever, or the biggest lead that's ever happened, was Patrick Walters, and he beat second place by 29 pounds. That is in jeopardy as we speak. Now, they're just about to start the weigh-in. And when I looked at it, he was up, when I say he, Kyle was up almost, well, he was well over 30 pounds, and he hasn't weighed in yet. There could be some sandbagging, but if he's up 28 to 30 pounds, technically he doesn't need to fish. Nobody has done as well as he did. He could bring in his biggest bag today because of that 10-pounder. And at 1 o'clock, the midday report, it wasn't about Kyle. It was about who was going to finish second. And at that time, he was up 35 pounds on Bass Track. Now, some guys caught some bigger fish, and he probably took it a little bit easier. But Kyle's just put on a clinic this weekend. And I've noticed some slight changes with bass and what they're doing. I did notice that there was a bottom graphic because, quite honestly, because of the weather or the rain, you don't know who the angler is most times when their back is turned to them if they don't have their jersey on. And I did notice that they had a bottom graphic at the bottom the last couple hours. During the live cast, I had no clue who the anglers we were watching were because they weren't talking, and you didn't know who they were because they didn't have their jersey on. And I just wish Bass would put that graphic on, that bottom third graphic, at all times, during the live cast, during the live, during everything, so that if the angler's jersey isn't being worn, we can know who we're watching. And like I said, it just seems like Bass might have made some minor tweaks from the classic that just seem to be a little bit better for the whole production. So that makes me a little bit happy. I hope that they listen to what we thought and what we feel like or what we see and try to make the whole thing better. But that's on them, not me. Different time of day, but the top 10 anglers are Kyle Welcher, Brandon Lester, Trey McKinney, Tyler Williams, Easton Fothergill, Seth Feider, Shane LaHue, Kyle Patrick, Keith Combs, and Justin Hamner. 9 of those guys are all competing for second place. Because to catch Kyle, you'd have to have the biggest bag of the tournament because he just weighed in a 34-pound bag. And I think he's up almost 33 or 34 pounds on second place. He will make the Century Club and probably beat the largest record of bass to second place, however you want to put that, because I can't think of it right now. But it'll be great. But what do you think of this tournament? You like the Pasquotank? Tell me in the comments below. So comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all the new subscribers and members and all the people who are interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for everything. Been a tough week. I'll go over later or have some different news coming up. But thank you. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.